Hey everybody, it is Pat. How are you all doing? In this video today, I wanted to revisit the month of March. Back in mid-January, I had done a reading sort of at the beginning of the year. It was like the end of February, end of January, February, and March. And I just wanted to revisit it. And where today is Super Tuesday, just share with you some, some stuff. Anyways, so first of all, I know going into Super Tuesday today that we have Pete Buttigieg and Amy Klobuchar who have dropped out of the race. And I know that a lot of people, I know there's quite a few of you out there that think that maybe Warren is next. But actually, I don't get that feeling. I actually think that Warren may be in here for the long haul. I don't doubt that probably Biden and Bernie will probably come out as the front runners, especially since Mayor Pete and Amy Klobuchar put their support behind Biden. So perhaps a lot of their supporters will move over to Biden. But anyways, I think you may be surprised. I think, and I say this because I just have a strong feeling about her. I'm not necessarily saying she's going to be the nominee, but if you listen to how she talks about things, Elizabeth Warren is very much a fighter. And that's an expression, that's a wording that she uses a lot. So I don't think that she's out of this yet. I don't think she's going to bow out just yet. I think we may see actually Mike Bloomberg take a step back after today's results. And again, I don't think he's someone that's stepping out of this completely, but because he is definitely committed to getting Trump out of office one way or the other. And so even if he doesn't end up as a staying in as a candidate, he's going to keep moving this along to get Trump out of office. So that's my feeling about today's stuff. So I guess all I want to say about that is don't discount Warren. I don't think she's out of this yet. So, but so back when I did that reading in mid-January, the Archangel who was overseeing us for March was this one, Clairvoyance, with Archangel Zadkiel, clear seeing. And I did feel like that, the Clairvoyance card has a lot of, interesting meanings to it, but mostly it's like we're finally seeing things clearly in a bigger way. Your clairvoyance spiritually and psychically comes from that point between your eyebrows that they call the mind's eye, or it's the seat of spiritual vision. But in a general way, it means really just seeing things clearly. It could be aha moments that you're having in your personal life. But obviously, since I'm looking at the month of March in terms of the perspective of our country and our world, is more things coming to light, as I mentioned. And, us seeing the bigger picture more clearly. So, that's definitely there. But I shuffled the cards just to see if there was any other message or that would come out to us. And the Archangel Zadkiel came out with this message of compassion. And it says, soften your heart with respect to the situation and all the people involved, including yourself. So as we, I just sense this month is really going to be, it can be great in a lot of ways, but it also can potentially be very turbulent. And I think it may get that way towards the end of the month as more things come out. And but we're going to need to have compassion for everything that's going on, the whole coronavirus thing, and people who are maybe adversely suffering in a variety of different areas in different ways, just with the crises that are going on. So, but we can always hold the intention that whatever the outcome of these elections, okay, that whoever gets the position ultimately will be for the best and highest good for our country, for everybody, okay? There's no one perfect candidate, and, nobody's going to universally like the person that gets in there. Okay, that's a known fact, known thing. But we can always put out the intention, peaceful intentions, that whoever does get the position, whether it be the Democratic candidate and whoever ends up in the office as president, is in the best and highest good of our country and its people. So we'll hold that, and we'll use that as our compassionate way of looking at this whole thing. So, but I also repicked some Akashic Record cards. I think the ones that we got in March indicated there was a lot of karma coming up in this month. So now, one of the first cards that came out was this one. It's called Winged Messengers. And what I love about these cards, as I mentioned before, is that the picture kind of gives a very, very real sort of metaphorical representation of what's going on. And in this picture, you have a table that's set up for like a little tea party. And you have a hawk with a message coming in, and a dove of peace with an angel hovering over him, coming in with that. So what I get about this is there's a lot of conflicting messages going on. Okay, we have our tea party here where there's actually a cup of spilled tea, a cup knocked over. And it's interesting because I think of that expression, spilling some tea, when there's, a little behind the scenes gossip or information that's being shared, they call it spilling some tea with you. But, the hawk with the message, the hawk is a predatory bird, and the dove is a dove of peace, but they both have messages that they're carrying in. And, so I don't doubt that part of the message of this card is that there's conflicting messages going on. You have those in our government and in our world who are very predatory and are going after, and that's what their messages that they're sending out. And then you have those who are trying to hold the space of peace and bring messages forward that way. That's overseeing this whole, cup of tea, this stuff that we're drinking. And so anyways, conflicting messages definitely going on, and that we're going to be bombarded with. So those who are trying to keep it peaceful, and those who are very predatory, going after things and trying to disrupt things. Okay. And, mixed messages can be, it's tough because you have to kind of, really look at things and separate the wheat from the chaff, as they say. So, but we also have Archangel Michael coming in here. And what I like about this picture, or this image, is that he's with the children. And I do feel like this has to do with those children who are at the border. Okay, my Archangel Michael is an angel of courage and protection. And he's looking out for the children, okay? And we can certainly bring in his energies to continue and ask for his continued help doing that. But I feel like, and this has to do with... the other message I get about it is, and this has to do with something my guide Simon told me. I think a lot of you know that I've post messages from Simon, and I've left his messages on Facebook and stuff like that. And this is all for entertainment purposes only, obviously. What comes out is generally, it's an impression. It has some truth to it at the time that it's given, but how everything turns out obviously remains to be seen. So, but what I sense and what my guide told me is that this has to do with the youth of our country. And by youth, I mean those, the young adults, people who are in their, 20s, early 20s, that are going to be gathering and marching. And even though we have the coronavirus thing going on, so there's a lot of places canceling large gatherings and things like that. These might be ones that occur out in the open air. So there isn't as much of a risk of being, inside with a bunch of people. But I do get a sense of more gatherings and the protesting from young adults. And, some of it having to do with gun control again. But they're gathering. And we may see, demonstrations again by them. Now, the interesting cards that came out... unlike, when I did this before, in the middle of January, is this next card that came out was the Oracle of Delphi. And the Oracle of Delphi it's of Greek origin, and it has to do with predictions and, the Oracle of Wisdom, who, brought forth predictions of mankind's fate, I guess I want to say, and so you have the Oracle there who is receiving her impressions. I think Pythia is her name. And you have the robed priest next to her who is writing down and interpreting what's coming through. And that steam that's rising up from the ground is part of it. So, I don't get a strong hit as to what exactly that means, because it's about perception and interpretation. It really is how things are being perceived and interpreted. And it may have to do with the things, once again, there's a lot that's already come out about, our current president and his administration and what's been going on. And one group is saying, no, this means this is a violation of the law and the Constitution. And the other one is saying, no, this is not a violation of the Constitution. So you had two different interpretations and perceptions of what's been going on. But the last card that came out is this one, that is the Lookout. And this literally is, a ship that's burning up. And, there's a war going on there. And, this Lookout is literally saying, look out, there's a really challenging situation coming up. And I know towards the end of the month, we have the Supreme Court is going to be having their hearings with regard to Deutsche Bank and, various issues where, Trump's taxes would need, or, his finances would need to be revealed. And he's been fighting that. And it is now in the Supreme Court. And that's part of what may come up at the end of this month, is that drama. And but in this card also is representative of someone, falling or losing their position. So now, what's interesting about that, and I did a reading back it was actually January 1st is when I uploaded it, on, I called it What Brings Trump Down. And I never published it. I never put it out. I kept it private and unlisted. But I'll put a link to it below so you can check it out if you want to, because as I mentioned in that video, and I'm not the only one who's gotten this. I haven't felt that Trump would finish his term as president. And actually, referring again to my guide Simon, way back before Nancy Pelosi was ever Speaker of the House, my guide Simon had told me that he wouldn't finish his term as president, and that Michael Pence would not step into his place. And so it would fall then to a Speaker of the House, I think. I didn't know actually at the time what that line of succession would be, but someone else had to kind of look it up. But anyways, I think it's going to be interesting to see how things play out. And it may be that between now and the end of the year, or between April or May and the end of the year, that we have someone who, who's kind of like an interim person running the government until such time as the elections take place and a new president takes over. So anyways, I know this may sound probably kind of out there, but so take what you like and leave the rest. I'm not advocating one over the other. I'm just passing on impressions and messages that I've got, just like this oracle. So anyways, get out there and vote. And I look forward to speaking with you again soon and with a message for the week. Thank you, everyone. Take care.